Good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Miss Talk to Me, baby. Hey, I am back with a Thoughtful Thursday mindfulness moment. I was very intentional on this quote, considering all that has happened in the last 24 hours in the Washington, D.C. area. I am in Washington, D.C., or the DMV. And although, people who are probably watching this are not in the DC area, I'm sure everybody in America have been affected and had some thoughts about what happened with the attack or the mob that pretty much ransacked the Capitol. On my drive home, I kind of drive that way, and I was able to kind of see a little bit of what was going on, not before everybody attacked the Capitol, but it was interesting. It was an interesting drive home. Let me just say that. But I'm not going to dwell on that negativity because the quotes that I pick, I think, will help shed some light on where my mind frame is. I expressed myself last night and got that out the way so that I can start today fresh and be prepared to give you a mindfulness moment. All right, and I got my rose quartz on. Definitely got my rose quartz on. And I got my Get Thee Behind Me Satan rock. You see my black tourmaline? Yep, I got that. Told you. I'm prepared for today. I am prepared. All right, so today's quote of the day. A positive attitude gives you power over your circumstances instead of your circumstances having power over you. And that's by Joyce Meyer. So this Thoughtful Thursday, no matter how difficult and distracting life is, our job is to focus, to work through it, to keep our eyes and our efforts where they belong. And that's from Rick Pitino. So this Thursday focus is to work through it. You know, whether it's at your job, whether it's, whatever emotions that's coming up for you today, like I want you to work through it, right? And one of the mindfulness quotes that I pick from my mindfulness cards comes from the kindness section, okay? Yes, kindness. So one of the things I wanted to mention, my girl Andromeda Peters, Miss United States 2018, and our clinical director here at the program, she did a segment last night with Phoenix Rising, I believe, and she talked about gratefulness. And every time she picks up her phone, she says 3 things to be grateful for, right? Before she goes and looks into social media, because that can have its own connotations with what pops up on your news feed and what you're subjecting your mind to, right? And so being able to be purposeful this year in being grateful for just little things, like you could be grateful that you got good cell reception. You could be grateful that you woke up this morning and did not have any traffic. Just little small things to be grateful for. And so I also want to encourage everyone to try and practice that. Like anything that you may struggle with, I want you to shift your mind and find 3 things to be grateful for in the midst of having that like negative thought process wherever it's coming from, right? And so also, it's going to be a lot of messages that are going to be posted and put up on news feeds. I know I did. I know I was comparing what Black Lives Matter protests look like versus the ones that was happening yesterday at the Capitol, and how it was a stark difference, And so my purpose today is to be very mindful of what I'm ingesting on social media so that my attitude, my perspective, my thought process doesn't get wrapped up into all the negativity, right? Because we can easily get wrapped up into the negativity and kind of pull ourselves backwards, right? So I'm being purposeful today not to do that, right? So that's where coming back, the positive attitude gives you power over your circumstance. So instead of like having that negative attitude about how this could happen compared to what happened with Black Lives Matter, I got to have a positive attitude about it, because I kind of look at this different. Like, I really appreciate what happened yesterday, because it just shows the stark difference of, what we say our police forces capable of or incapable of. I look at that and say, we have restraint. We just choose on who we just choose to, have it towards certain individuals, right? Certain masses of individuals. But whatever, that got exposed, right? I'm going to just sit back and watch, eat my popcorn. I'm going to have a positive attitude about it, like, The other thing that was getting on my nerves is, this is not our America. What? No matter how difficult and distracting life is, our job is to focus. My focus is to make sure I have a positive attitude. My focus is to work through, yeah, you're right, this is not your America. You've never experienced that, and it's different perspectives of America. And certain parts of America have this perspective, and other parts of America definitely understand that this is our America, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyhow, we're going to push through it, and we're going to say you're right. But we need to open up our perspectives, because this has been our America. And so being able to talk and communicate and share stories and share experiences on how we feel about perspectives is going to be important. But being very intentional of how you do that. It brings me to my card. Love the messenger. Work through it Thursday. This card says, the number of messages coming into our inboxes and social feeds throughout the day and night can be overwhelming. One of the ways we can approach the constant bombardment is to think of the messages as words from actual people rather than information, right? Next time you open an email, take a moment to reflect on the person who wrote it, right? Put it in perspective of who was writing this. Whether or not you know them personally, think about your shared humanity and wish them well. You may not have a shared humanity. You scroll past some of these feeds on your timeline. You may not have the same shared humanity, but wish them well. You know what? This short exercise before reading a message can then help you tune into the interconnected internet of people rather than the internet of information. So really taking a moment to think about what you're reading and who it's from, where it's coming from, is very important, because it's about perspectives. Why get upset at the perspective of someone whose opinion doesn't necessarily matter to you? Which is one of the things that I really loved it on Wreck-It Ralph. They said, it's really important not to read the comments sometimes, because the comments can be very negative. But you don't know these people. You don't know where they're coming from, but you let that affect you, right? But how you going to let something affect you that when the person has no idea who you are or has no idea what you've been through, any of that? So you have to be very intentional on letting information on the internet affect you. If I see something that came from Fox News and be like, I'm not even going to let myself get carried away or wrapped away in some of that stuff. I don't even watch the news lately since COVID happened because I'm a healthcare worker and I'm right in the middle of, everything. It was just too anxiety provoking, which is why I had no idea what was going on yesterday until I left and my staff told me. But regardless, I want you to be very intentional on when you're reading messages today, who it's coming from, and how are you going to let that affect you? Have a positive attitude. Stay focused and don't let your circumstances overcome you, right? You need to have power over that. We got to push through. We got to work through it. We got to focus. And so, I got a quote. Inspirational women. You know who I had to pick? You know who I had to pick? Mrs. Michelle Obama. Okay? So, this is the quote I picked. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. I'm very hopeful. This situation did not make me less hopeful of just greatness within myself, greatness within, what I'm trying to do and build in my kids and within my family. It's not, the politics of America is not going to stop me from doing that, right? I'm a one individual and my family is a one small entity in this bigger and greater United States, if you will. So I'm not going to let the negativity of what's going on in this world affect us. We're going to stay grounded. We're going to stay prayed up. We are from a long line of strong African-American men and women, especially on my side of the family, who came right from the civil rights, right from the hearts of the civil rights movement in Birmingham, Alabama. We resilient. And I hope that you guys find the resiliency in you to push through today and have a positive attitude, and do not let your circumstances have power over you, baby. Mindfulness moment. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Be purposeful. Bye.